Right after I finished the test, I'd say the first thing I felt was relief, and I think everyone gets this a little bit because the 4-hour test, it's a bit of a marathon. You get tired by the end of it. But aside from that, I really felt confident. Going into the test, I'd been similarly confident because that week leading up to it, I had gone over my vocabulary, I'd done some math problems, and just going in, I felt like there was nothing that I was missing. And so all it would take that day was just kind of putting everything that I'd learned, putting it on that test, and hoping for the best. Coming out of the test, I really felt like my essay was one of the strongest I've ever written, and that there were no points at which I was just stuck or didn't know what to do. So it was a pretty good testing experience, and I was definitely feeling like it would be a great score that I wouldn't have to retake or I wouldn't have to cancel coming out of that. So it was about 4:15 in the morning, and I had no plans of actually waking up to see them, but I think subconsciously I just ended up waking up. It was around 4 o'clock and I knew they released it around then. So I went over there and checked, and the first thing I did was refresh the page, make sure it was actually there, and then kind of just stared at it for a while because it took a while to sink in. And obviously there was a lot of relief, there was a lot of excitement. The first thing I did was wake up my dad, and I think he'll forgive me for waking him up at 4 in the morning for that one. So it was a great feeling, and I don't think I'll forget that feeling for the rest of my life. I think the main thing for preparation was taking as many practice tests as possible. I think that really makes you comfortable the day of the test, and you see everything that the College Board could throw at you. And obviously TestMasters was great with that because of the exam club program where I could just come in every weekend, maybe once or twice, and sit down, take a test under a similar situation. The other thing I did was go over vocabulary. I used the SAT big word list that TestMasters provided, as well as other stuff that I just searched up online. And I felt like there's really two components to the test: stuff that you should know, like the math, the grammar rules, and stuff that you can know once you put in the effort. And that's where the vocab comes in. Putting all that together with the fact that I had taken so many practice tests, I just felt comfortable going in. I felt confident, and I felt like I knew what I needed to know. What I like the most about TestMasters, and what's going to stick with me when I tell people to take the class, is the fact that the teachers know what they're doing, but they also know how to make the information accessible. They're really easygoing, they're fun, and they know what it takes. So they're not going to lie to you, they're going to tell you exactly what it takes, because a lot of them have scored high. I know 1 or 2 teachers that I had told me they had perfect scores. So you feel comfortable when you're being taught by someone who has already achieved what you want to achieve. So the main thing was the fact that the instructors were definitely up to par with what is needed. The other thing that I really liked, as I mentioned earlier, was the exam club, where I could just take as many tests as I want, and under a really comfortable environment, go home, check my answers, get the explanations, figure out what I'm doing right, figure out what I'm doing wrong, and pretty soon I was able to put it all together. When you go into there, don't feel the pressure. Don't worry about what's going to happen if this score comes out. Is the college going to accept you or not? When you're taking that test, just try to put all that out of your mind and be confident and be relaxed. If you take your time and you've studied for the test, if you've taken the test, you've looked over your vocabulary, and you've tried to correct your mistakes, then you have what it takes. You've done what it takes to score well on the test. So instead of worrying about possibly a negative outcome, go in there thinking that you've really put in 100% and you're going to get 100% out. That's what I did, and I felt like that worked really well for me. Take advantage of all the resources that you're given, especially through TestMasters. They give you vocabulary lists. They have specialists who are able to help you with any of the subjects. They've given you basically an essay format that works perfectly. And if you take advantage of all of this, and if you go in there feeling confident and you've put in the work and the effort required, you're going to come out with a great score. As of right now, I have a lot of plans that involve colleges. My dream school is Stanford University, but I'm also open to other options such as Harvard, MIT, Brown, and I'm really open to look at anywhere. And I'm glad that this SAT score gives me that opportunity to do that. Beyond that, I think in the future I'm going to become either a physician or a medical researcher. My plan is really to help out people, whether it is directly or indirectly, and try to solve some of the problems that face us medically. And I think I can do that with the help of the colleges that I go to and the things that I learned there through a program of biology or molecular biology or biochemistry. And as of now, that's what I think I'll be doing in the future.